It's the biggest myth in pet ownership. Cats are perfectly fine being left alone all day. We tell ourselves they're independent, they sleep 20 hours a day, and they simply don't need us the way dogs do. But this is a costly assumption, and science tells a completely different story. Studies prove that cats form deep, genuine attachment bonds with their humans. They feel remarkably safer when you are around, and they experience measurable anxiety when you leave. Because cats are biologically wired to hide their pain and discomfort, the emotional damage of poorly managed alone time is almost always invisible, until it suddenly erupts into a major problem. Here are 5 essential things every cat owner must know before leaving their cat alone. Stick around for tip number 5. It's the most overlooked mistake, and almost nobody realizes the issues it triggers. If you want to understand your cat on a much deeper level, hit subscribe and turn on notifications now. Tip number 1. Protect their routine. Cats are not flexible creatures. They are precision animals. Every reliable event in their day, the time their food drops, the moment you leave, the second you return, acts as an anchor. These anchors don't just make life predictable, they make life safe. When these anchors hold firm, your cat's stress remains low. But when they shift without warning, your cat completely loses their framework for the day. For a prey species, uncertainty breeds cortisol, not curiosity. That's why the timing of your daily departure matters more than you realize. Try to leave at the same time, follow the exact same morning sequence, and feed them at identical times every single day, even on weekends. The more consistent your habits, the lower your cat's baseline anxiety will be while you are out. To a cat, predictability isn't boring. It is the absolute foundation of their security. Tip number 2. Clean the litter box right before you leave. It sounds basic, yet it's the step most consistently skipped, and a massive contributor to stress-related behavior in solitary cats. Cats are obligate hygiene animals. A dirty litter box doesn't just annoy them, it actively causes them distress. When you are present, a partially used box might be manageable. But when you're absent, a box that was merely borderline becomes completely unacceptable within a few hours. A cat with no clean place to use the bathroom is a cat whose anxiety spikes with every passing hour you're out of the house. Before any workday or significant absence, scoop every box. For overnight trips, arrange for daily scooping. This isn't a secondary chore. It is one of the highest return investments you can make for your cat's mental well-being while you are gone. Tip number 3. Keep the windows visible and the territory active. Locking a cat in a closed, static environment leaves them with absolutely nothing to do. For a brain hardwired to detect patterns and movement, a lack of stimulation isn't rest, it is sensory deprivation. The easiest fix? Leave the blinds up on at least one window. A view of birds, squirrels, or foot traffic provides passive enrichment, offering a constantly changing visual that engages their senses for hours. Time spent watching a window is infinitely better than time spent anxiously pacing. Before you walk out the door, activate their territory. Drop an empty cardboard box in a brand new spot, leave a paper bag on the rug, or hide a few treats in 3 different rooms. These micro changes give your cat a job to do. It provides novelty that focuses their attention outward into their environment, rather than inward on your absence. A cat that is busy exploring is a cat that isn't anxious. If this is changing how you view your cat's alone time, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss tip 5. Tip number 4. Build enrichment that matches a cat's psychology. Dead, static toys on the floor simply do not work. A cat will figure out an object isn't alive within 30 seconds, and after that, it just becomes part of the furniture. What you need to build before you leave is a full hunt sequence with a satisfying reward. Puzzle feeders loaded with a portion of their daily dry food force your cat to solve a problem to get a meal, perfectly completing the predatory cycle indoors. Try lick mats smeared with wet food, or treat dispensing balls on hard floors so they roll unpredictably. These succeed because they require physical movement, mental effort, or both. Remember to rotate these items across different days. A cat that has solved the exact same puzzle 40 times will engage with it far less than a brand new challenge. Variety preserves genuine curiosity, and a curious cat is one of the clearest signs of a feline successfully coping with alone time. Tip number 5. Never leave their food in one giant pile and never break the schedule. Dumping a huge mound of food in a bowl feels practical, but it triggers 2 major issues. First, stress eating. Anxious cats often eat compulsively. Leaving unlimited access to food during a long absence invites overeating, vomiting, digestive upset, and weight gain. Second, the selective eater problem. Stressed cats will often refuse to touch food that has been sitting out in the open for hours. This means your cat arrives at your return both physiologically and emotionally depleted. But the deeper issue is the schedule itself. Your cat's biological clock and sense of safety are deeply calibrated to feeding times. When food drops at the exact same time every day, it signals to your cat that their world is functioning properly and that you will return. When that time passes with no food, that missed anchor creates severe stress instead. For any absence that spans a mealtime, an automatic feeder isn't a luxury. It's the difference between a cat whose routine held strong and a cat whose primary daily anchor completely failed. Owners who switch to scheduled automatic feeding constantly report dramatic improvements. Nighttime behavior settles, pre-meal begging drops, and overall calmness rises. Why? Because their fundamental signal of safety was finally made reliable. For trips lasting overnight or longer, always arrange for a trusted person to visit twice a day, not just to drop food, but to offer genuine interaction. Extended isolation without human contact is incredibly stressful for most cats, regardless of how fiercely independent they act when you are home. Now you know exactly what your cat needs while you are away. Your cat is never indifferent to your absence. They notice the routines you keep and the patterns you break. None of these 5 steps are difficult, but together they make the difference between a cat that merely survives while you are gone and a cat that genuinely relaxes and thrives until you return. Leave a comment below. Which tip surprised you the most, or what special things do you already do for your cat when you leave the house? If this video helped you, drop a like and subscribe for more content on deeply understanding the animals we share our lives with.